There is a grave somewhere with your name on it, not for your body, for the man you were supposed to become, the man they buried before he ever had a chance to breathe. They killed him with kindness, with lies dressed as love, with rules that only the powerless follow. You were programmed, from birth. Every bedtime story, every classroom lesson, every sermon, every movie. They fed you a beautiful poison called hope. They told you the good guys win, that karma is real. That if you just work hard, stay loyal, play fair, the universe will reward you. Look around you. Where is your reward? The throne doesn't belong to the righteous. It belongs to the one willing to take it. History is not written by the noble. It's written by the ruthless who buried the noble in unmarked graves. Niccolò Machiavelli knew this. He watched men of virtue get slaughtered while smiling snakes wore crowns. And he left us a warning the world tried to burn. You're not here by accident. Something led you here. A wound, a betrayal, a moment when you looked into someone's eyes and realized they never saw you as human, only useful. Welcome to Machiavelli. This is where the old you dies. Number 1, the lie they planted in you. Let me tell you about the most dangerous weapon ever created. It's not a blade, not a bullet, not a bomb. It's an idea. And they planted it in your skull before you could even speak. The idea is this: be good, and good things will happen to you. Say it out loud. Taste how sweet it sounds, how innocent, how safe. Now ask yourself, how many times has that idea left you bleeding? You were good to her. She left you for someone who made her feel alive. You were loyal to them. They promoted the one who played politics while you played fair. You were honest. And they used your honesty as a map to your weaknesses. Goodness is not a shield. It is a target painted on your back. Machiavelli wrote it plainly. A man who wishes to act entirely up to his professions of virtue soon meets with destruction among so much that is evil. He didn't say you might fail. He said you will be destroyed. The world is not a courtroom where justice presides. The world is an arena, and in the arena, the merciful get devoured first. They taught you gentleness so you'd never become a threat. They taught you patience so you'd wait until it was too late. They taught you forgiveness so you'd hand them the knife twice. You were never educated, you were domesticated. Comment below, I am unlearning the lies. Number 2, the predators wearing human skin. Let me tell you what Machiavelli discovered in the blood-soaked courts of Florence, a truth so sharp it can split a man in two. He wrote that men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, and covetous. Not some men, not bad men, all of them, including the one staring back at you in the mirror. This is not pessimism, this is surgery. This is removing the tumor of naivety that has been rotting inside your judgment for years. You want to believe people are good. You need to believe it because the alternative terrifies you. If people are not good, then every handshake is a question mark. Every smile is a mask. Every promise is a test. And you are right to be terrified, because that is exactly the world you live in. The man who bought you dinner wants something. The friend who calls only when he needs you is not your friend. The woman who says she loves you will measure that love against what you provide. This is not cruelty. This is nature. The lion does not hate the gazelle. He simply eats. Stop expecting loyalty from those who have no consequence for betrayal. Stop expecting honesty from those who profit from lies. Stop expecting love from those who see you as a stepping stone. When you finally accept what men are, you stop being their victim, you become their student, and eventually their master. Comment below, I trust actions, never words. Number 3, the truth that breaks weak men. Here it is, the lesson that breaks men, the lesson that rebuilds empires. The lesson you will wish you learned at 15 but are only hearing now because the world needed you blind for as long as possible. No one is coming to save you. Sit with that. Let it burn through every fairy tale still living in your chest. No mentor is searching for you. No opportunity is waiting around the corner with your name written on it. No divine hand is preparing your redemption. The cavalry is not coming. The cavalry was never real. You have been waiting. Admit it. Waiting for someone to see your potential. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting for permission. Waiting for the stars to align. for the economy to shift, for her to come back, for him to apologize, for life to finally be fair. And while you waited, others took. They were not smarter than you. They were not more talented. They simply understood something you refused to accept. The universe does not distribute rewards. It watches, cold and indifferent, as men either seize their fate or get buried beneath those who do. Machiavelli served lords and princes. He watched virtuous men get exiled while schemers sat on thrones. He saw loyalty repaid with prison cells. He saw honesty rewarded with assassination. And in his cold Florentine study, he wrote the truth that polite society still cannot stomach. Fortune favors the aggressive. Hesitation is death in slow motion. And the man who waits for permission has already surrendered his crown. You know this. Deep in the basement of your soul, you have always known. Every time you hesitated, something screamed inside you. Every time you deferred, played small, asked instead of demanded, a part of you died. You felt it, that sinking, that quiet suffocation. That was your power, leaking out of you, dripping onto the floor while you smiled and said everything was fine. It was not fine, it is not fine, and it will never be fine until you become the man who does not wait. I am not telling you to become cruel. Cruelty is weakness dressed in armor. I am telling you to become decisive, to become relentless, to become the kind of man who does not ask the world for permission to exist at full volume. The brutal lesson is this. Your life is a throne room, and every single day, someone is either sitting on your throne or you are. There is no empty chair, there is no sharing. There is no democracy in the kingdom of self. You either rule your life with an iron grip, or you serve someone who does. Most men learn this at 60, broken and buried in regret, watching their grandchildren make the same mistakes. You are learning it now. That is not luck. That is your second chance. Do not waste it. Comment below. No one is coming. I am the one I have been waiting for. Number 4, the mask you must wear. I want you to think about the last person who destroyed you, not physically, emotionally, financially, socially. Think about the one who smiled at you while sharpening the blade behind their back. The one who knew your secrets and used them as ammunition. The one who watched you drown and pretended they never saw water. Now answer me this. Did they warn you? Did they send a letter announcing their betrayal? Did they sit you down and say, I am about to ruin your life, prepare yourself? No. They laughed with you the night before. They called you brother. They said, I love you. And then they struck with surgical precision at the exact spot where it would hurt most. This is the game. This has always been the game. And you have been playing it blindfolded, naked, with both hands tied behind your back, wondering why you keep losing. Machiavelli gave us the antidote. He said, a prince must know how to be a fox and a lion. The lion cannot protect himself from traps. The fox cannot protect himself from wolves. So you must be both. You must learn to see the trap before it springs, and you must become terrifying enough that wolves think twice before hunting you. But here is where most men fail. They hear this and think Machiavelli was teaching manipulation. They think he was teaching evil. They miss the point entirely. He was teaching survival. You do not wear a mask to deceive the innocent. You wear a mask because the world is full of people already wearing them. You are not introducing deception into a pure environment. You are finally matching the energy that has been beating you senseless since the day you were born. The man who shows all his cards loses every hand. The man who speaks every thought becomes a prisoner of his own tongue. The man who trusts without verification is not noble. He is a target with a heartbeat. Learn to smile when you are calculating. Learn to be silent when you are furious. Learn to move in shadows when others expect you in light. This is not about becoming fake. This is about becoming strategic. There is a version of you that the world sees, and there is a version that only you know. The gap between those two versions is your armor. Your enemies are already doing this. Your competitors are already doing this. The people who took what was yours, they mastered this before they mastered walking. You have been bringing a handshake to a knife fight. You have been offering your neck to people who collect heads. No more. From this moment forward, you reveal only what serves you. You trust only what has been proven, and you move like smoke through a world that has been waiting to choke you. Comment below, I am the fox, I am the lion, I am ungovernable. Number 5. The dark laws of human control. I am about to hand you a loaded weapon. Most people will never hear what I am about to say, not because it is hidden, but because they are not ready. Their minds are still soft, still hoping, still believing that power is something dirty, something to be avoided, something only bad people want. But you are still here. That tells me something about you. So let me show you how the world actually operates beneath the surface. Let me show you the strings that puppeteers pull while the masses dance and never think to look up. Dark psychology teaches us that every human being walks around with invisible chains: fear, ego, desire, shame. These are not emotions, these are levers, and the man who learns to pull them becomes the architect of reality itself. First, understand this. People do not remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. This is why the liar who speaks with certainty defeats the honest man who stutters with truth. This is why dictators rise on nothing but confidence and crumble only when they show weakness. Perception is the only reality that matters. Control perception, and you control everything. Second, silence is domination. When you speak less, people assume you know more. When you pause before answering, they assume depth. When you refuse to explain yourself, they assume power. The man who over-explains is begging to be believed. The man who says nothing forces others to fill the void with their own assumptions, and assumptions always favor the mysterious. Third, withhold validation, and they will chase you forever. This is the dark engine beneath every obsession. Human beings are addicted to approval. They will crawl through glass for a single nod from someone who refuses to give it freely. The man who gives his approval easily becomes furniture. The man who makes others earn it becomes a god in their eyes. This is not cruelty. This is the mathematics of desire. Fourth, create doubt and you create dependency. When someone is certain, they do not need you. When someone is confused, they cling. The most powerful leaders in history never gave clear answers. They gave just enough to keep people leaning in, needing more, coming back. Certainty breeds independence. Uncertainty breeds addiction. Fifth, make them invest, and they will never leave. Time, money, emotion. The more someone pours into you, the more they need you to be worth it. Their own ego will not let them walk away. This is why people stay in terrible situations for years. Not because the situation is good, but because leaving would mean admitting waste. Use this wisely. These are not theories. These are the operating codes of human behavior. Every empire, every seduction, every revolution was built on these principles. Now you know them too. The question is whether you have the spine to use them. Comment below. I see the strings now, I pull them. Number 6. The ghost they cannot kill. Let me tell you about a dead man. He was talented, hardworking, honest to a fault. He gave 20 years to a company that replaced him with a cheaper option on a Tuesday afternoon. He gave his loyalty to a woman who left him for someone who made her feel uncertain. He gave his trust to friends who scattered like roaches when his life got dark. He did everything right. And he died with nothing but confusion in his eyes, wondering where it all went wrong. I see this man everywhere. Maybe you see him in your father. Maybe you see him in your reflection. He was not destroyed by enemies. He was destroyed by availability. He was always there, always reachable, always ready to give more, explain more, prove more. He turned himself into oxygen, and no one thanks oxygen. No one chases oxygen. No one fears losing oxygen until it is gone. This is the first law of becoming untouchable. Scarcity creates value. Abundance breeds contempt. The moment you are always available, you become worthless. The moment you are always agreeable, your agreement means nothing. The moment you are predictable, you become invisible. People do not obsess over what they can have whenever they want. People obsess over what they fear losing. People obsess over what they cannot fully understand. You must become a question mark in a world full of periods. Stop answering every message immediately. Stop explaining your decisions. Stop showing up every time they call. Let them wonder. Let them wait. Let them feel the cold wind of your absence and realize they took your warmth for granted. This is not game playing. This is recalibration. You have been leaking power through every pore. Every over-explanation was a leak. Every justification was a leak. Every time you chased when you should have walked away was a hemorrhage. Now we stitch the wounds. Become selectively deaf. Not every accusation deserves a response. Not every argument deserves your energy. The man who responds to everything is controlled by everything. When you stop reacting, they lose their remote control to your emotions. When you go silent, their own words echo back and haunt them. Become strategically absent, miss events, decline invitations. Let them feel the room without you in it. Let them notice the gap. Let them feel that strange pull of wanting what is not there. Your absence should create more impact than most people's presence. Become emotionally expensive. Not everyone deserves access to your depths, your fears, your dreams, your wounds. These are not conversation starters. These are treasures. Guard them like a dragon guards gold. Let people earn their way into your inner world through years of proven loyalty, not through a few drinks and shallow questions. The untouchable man is not cold. He is selective. He is not cruel. He is curated. Become the man they cannot reach, and they will spend their lives reaching. Comment below, I am the question they cannot answer. Number 7. The enemies you cannot see. Right now, someone is thinking about your downfall. Not dramatically, not with clenched fists and evil laughter. Quietly, casually, between sips of coffee, between smiles at family dinner. They are measuring you, calculating your weaknesses, wondering how to take what you have without getting caught. You do not believe me. That is exactly why you are vulnerable. You think enemies announce themselves. You think betrayal comes with warning signs. You think the knife will glint in the light before it enters your back. It does not. The most dangerous enemy in your life right now is someone you would defend if I accused them. Someone whose name you would speak warmly. Someone you have already given the keys to your destruction without realizing it. Machiavelli understood this with terrifying clarity. He watched men get destroyed not by foreign armies but by smiling advisors. Not by obvious rivals but by childhood friends. He wrote that men must be either caressed or annihilated because they will revenge themselves for small injuries but cannot do so for great ones. Do you understand what he is saying? A small wound creates an enemy who waits. A man you mildly offend will spend years planning your destruction while shaking your hand at parties. Think about everyone you have mildly wronged, everyone whose pride you scratched, everyone who wanted what you had and smiled through their envy. They remember. Trust me, they remember everything. Now let me tell you something darker. Some enemies are not created by your actions. They are created by your existence. You did nothing wrong. You simply have something they want. You are simply standing where they wish to stand. Your success is their failure. Your happiness is their torture. And they will dress their hatred in friendship until the moment is right. So, how do you identify them? Watch for the ones who celebrate your failures a little too quickly. Watch for the ones who ask too many questions about your plans. Watch for the ones who subtly discourage your ambitions while pretending to protect you. Watch for the pattern of bad advice disguised as concern. Watch for the friend who is never available when you are rising, but always present when you are falling. The ancient strategists called this the smiling tiger. The face shows warmth, the claws stay hidden, until one day you turn your back and feel the tearing. I am not telling you to become paranoid. Paranoia is weakness. I am telling you to become observant. There is a difference. The paranoid man fears shadows. The observant man studies them until he knows exactly what casts them. From today, you watch. You say less. You note inconsistencies. You test loyalty in small ways before trusting in large ones. You stop assuming friendship is proven by time. Some enemies wait decades for a single opening. Do not give them one. Comment below. I watch the watchers. I know the game. Number 8. The art of destruction. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture the face of someone who wronged you. Not a stranger, someone close. Someone who knew exactly where to cut. Someone who watched you bleed and walked away without looking back. Feel that heat rising in your chest, that tightness in your jaw, that ancient voice whispering to make them pay. Good. Now hold that feeling. Do not act on it. Not yet. Perhaps not ever. Because what I'm about to teach you is worth more than any act of immediate vengeance. Revenge is not an emotion. Revenge is a science. And most men fail at it because they treat it like a fire when it should be treated like ice. The weak man reacts. He screams. He threatens. He shows his wound to the world and announces his intentions to anyone who will listen. And in doing so, he gives his enemy the only thing they need: time to prepare, time to build defenses, time to strike first and call it self-defense. The powerful man does something far more terrifying. He smiles. He continues. He lets his enemy believe they got away with it. He lets weeks pass, months, sometimes years, until the original wound is forgotten by everyone except him. And then, when the moment is perfect, when his enemy is comfortable and careless and utterly unprepared, he moves with surgical precision that leaves no fingerprints. Machiavelli wrote that revenge is a dish best served when the enemy no longer expects it, when they have convinced themselves they are safe, when they have let their guard dissolve into arrogance. That is when one strike accomplishes what 100 emotional outbursts never could. But here is the part no one tells you. The highest form of revenge is not destruction, it is elevation. It is becoming so powerful, so untouchable, so far above the person who wronged you, that your very existence becomes their daily humiliation. Every time they see your name, they burn. Every time they hear of your success, they taste ash. You do not even need to acknowledge them. Your life is the revenge. Your growth is the wound that never heals. This is cold, I know, but coldness is clarity, and clarity is power. Stop announcing your pain. The moment you tell someone they hurt you, you hand them a trophy. Stop threatening consequences. Threats are confessions of impotence. The man who truly intends to act does not warn. He simply arrives like weather. Channel every wound into fuel. Every betrayal is energy waiting to be converted. Every scar is a reminder of what you survived and what you are becoming. Let them create the monster they will one day fear. The person who wronged you is out there right now, living comfortably, assuming you have forgotten. Prove them wrong, not with words, with your life. Comment below. My revenge is my resurrection. Number 9. The war inside your skull. You are a slave, not to a person, not to a job, not to a government, to something far more insidious, something that lives inside your own skull and pulls your strings while you believe you are free. You are a slave to your reactions. Someone insults you and your blood boils before you even decide it should. Someone ignores you and your chest caves in without your permission. Someone succeeds where you failed and a green poison floods your veins automatically. You did not choose these responses. They chose you. They have been choosing you since childhood. And until you understand this, you will remain a puppet made of flesh and feelings. This is the final battleground. Not the boardroom, not the bedroom, not the streets. The war that determines everything is fought in the 3 inches between your ears. Win there, and the external world bends. Lose there, and no amount of money or status will save you. The ancient Stoics knew this. Machiavelli knew this. Every emperor and general who built anything lasting knew this. The man who cannot control himself will always be controlled by those who can. Always. Without exception. No matter how intelligent he is. No matter how talented, no matter how hungry. Self-mastery is the throne beneath every other throne. Let me show you how the masters operate. They create distance between stimulus and response. Something happens. Instead of reacting, they observe the reaction rising inside them like a wave. They watch it, they study it, they let it pass without acting. In that gap between event and response lives all of human freedom. Most men never find that gap because they are too busy drowning in the wave. They treat emotions as data, not commands. Fear arises and they ask, "What is this telling me?" instead of running. Anger arises and they ask what boundary was crossed instead of exploding. Desire arises and they ask, "Is this serving my purpose?" instead of chasing blindly. They have learned that feelings are messengers, not masters. You can hear the message without obeying it. They train in private, so they are unshakable in public. Every morning they rehearse difficulty. They visualize loss. They sit in discomfort voluntarily. They fast when they could eat. They stay silent when they want to speak. They do hard things for no reason other than to prove they can. When real crisis arrives, it meets a man who has already survived 1,000 simulated deaths. This is not natural. No one is born with this control. It is built, brick by brick, day by day, in moments no one sees, in choices no one applauds. The world will test you. People will provoke you. Life will burn down everything you build. And in those moments, the only question that matters is this: who is in control? You or your reactions? Choose now, because the next test is already coming. Comment below. I am the master of the space between. Number 10. The death of who you were. We have walked through fire together. You arrived here as one man. You leave as another. Not because I gave you something new, but because I burned away what was never truly yours. The illusions, the false hopes, the comfortable lies you inherited from people who were too afraid to face the truth themselves. Now, you stand at the edge of two futures. In the first future, you close this video and return to sleep. The words you heard tonight will fade like smoke. Tomorrow, you will wake up and the old patterns will reclaim you. You will trust too easily, speak too freely, give your power away to people who see you as a resource to be extracted. And years from now, you will remember this moment and wonder what would have happened if you had chosen differently. In the second future, something has permanently shifted. A door has closed behind you and there is no going back. You will never again look at people the same way. You will never again mistake kindness for weakness or silence for ignorance. You will move through the world like a man who finally understands the game, not with cruelty, not with bitterness, but with the cold clarity of someone who refuses to be a victim ever again. Machiavelli spent his final years in exile, stripped of power, forgotten by the princes he once advised, but he did something that outlasted every throne in Europe. He wrote the truth, and 500 years later, that truth found you, tonight, in this moment, when you needed it most. That is not coincidence. That is the universe handing you a sword and asking if you have the courage to wield it. I do not know your name. I do not know your wounds. I do not know what betrayals brought you here or what ambitions keep you awake at night. But I know this: you were not built for mediocrity. You were not designed to beg for scraps at tables you should be commanding. There is something inside you that has been waiting for permission to rise. This is your permission, not from me, from yourself, from the version of you that exists on the other side of fear, the version that has already won, the version that looks back at this moment as the turning point when everything changed. He is not a fantasy, he is a possibility. And the distance between who you are and who he is can be closed with one decision, repeated daily. Become the man they cannot break. Become the man they cannot predict. Become the man who walks into rooms and shifts the gravity. Become the man your enemies fear, your allies respect, and your bloodline will remember for generations. The brutal lesson every man learns too late is that no one is coming. But you have learned it now, and now is not too late. Rise. Comment below for the final time. I am the architect of my own empire. If this message found you at the right moment, strike the like button and let the algorithm know this truth deserves to spread. Subscribe to Machiavelli and turn on notifications so you never miss the knowledge they do not want you to have. I will see you in the next video. Stronger, colder, untouchable.